Alright, I've had enough. You bottle water preppers are driving me nuts with all your YouTube videos showing how to store water in bottles. It has its place, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's nothing wrong with keeping a few bits of bottled water, but you need to be keeping a lot of water. So instead of just sitting back and quietly laughing at you, I thought I'd show you something, try and give you a better idea of what you can do to cheaply store much larger amounts of water. So watch and learn. Alrighty, the first thing you're going to need to get done is to excavate the hole for the water tank. Do what I did there. I just used a rototiller to break up the ground to make it a lot easier to shovel. You can use picks, just depends where you are. You can even use earth machinery if you've got it available. So yeah, a lot of ways to do it, but basically all you're doing is digging a hole in the ground. Alright, make it as big as you are going to need. The size of the plastic is going to dictate to a large extent how big you're going to build this. It depends what plastic you've got available. Make sure you tamp down the sides. I was actually a bit slack about tamping down the sides here. Should have done a better job. You can use a single sheet of plastic, or I'm actually using 2 layers of plastic here, and I think that's a good plan if you've got the plastic to use 2 layers. That way if you do get a bit of minor damage, it'll hold up a lot longer. Here I am filling it, and like I said, however you get the water in, that's up to you. Here I am using a hose. There's nothing to stop you using rainwater catchment. However you want to get the water in. This is for storing water. That was the overflow. Here I am building the framework to support the roof, with the covering for the plastic. And there we go. Getting ready to cover it. Covering it will keep the leaves and whatnot out, and you can also use the sheeting, the plastic sheeting that's going to go over the top of this as a water catchment for the whatever you want to call this. Now you've got to think of how you're going to get the water out of there. Obviously you can, if you wanted to, you could just leave this open. You can bucket the water out, or you can buy a little, this is a bilge pump. They're available in most auto parts stores or marine supply places, and I think it cost me $20 or $30. It's fairly old now. Put that in the deepest part of your, whatever you want to call it, battery. It can be as simple as this. Just plug it in, and you have water. Depending on how high you want to pump the water, the speed of if the water level is above where you want the water, you can use a siphon, which you'll see here the water is still running. It's not running very fast,
but and once again, it'll depend on how far above the point that you need the water, the actual water tank is. But that's actually the most, I mean, if you can do it that way, that's the way to do it. All right. See, as soon as I raise it above a certain level, it stops siphoning. Watch this, because there's not much head here, but okay. So that's a good way to get it out if you want to use the siphon method. Okay, now suitably placed hole. It's really hard to film this. Some bug screen. That's just, you know, the type of stuff you use for your windows. Suitable type of rock that's kind of got a hollow base to it, so I can put that right over top. Okay, and you have a fair to middling debris screen. Alright, so that'll help keep out the leaves and whatnot. You might want to just make sure as you get some rain and whatnot, keep this all clear of leaves, and they'll help filter out any debris getting into your water. And once again, and I've got corrugated iron roof, so I can put a gutter on there, and I could have all the catchment from that corrugated iron roof coming down and being stored in here as well. Although this is, I mean, I just built this. This is just a small demo model. You could build it much larger than this, you know, probably to the point of many thousands of gallons. This is just to show you the concept and what you can do with a limited budget for your water storage. Another thing that can be done, you know, I told you, I showed you. Got my bilge pump. Pumping water out, which is working great. You can also get hand pumps. You can get hand pumps from the RV place, so you can actually pump this out with hand. Of course, you could bucket it out too, but that means you'd have to sort of open up the top. You can also get high pressure 12-volt pumps, and I could actually, here is a line, and the way I've got this all set up, I could actually pump back into this and into the house line. So I could effectively run my house off the water I have stored in this by using just a little bit different pump. You can get a pressure regulated 12-volt pump from the RV place as well. Just checking my catchment. Ain't working too bad. So that you can see the water running down. There's the overflow. That's the battery for the bilge pump. Hose for the bilge pump. Catchment filters, just to keep the debris out. May end up putting another one on here. It's in a place where I can connect to the house irrigation lines if I need to, and in a place where I can catch a lot more water right next to this shed with a corrugated iron roof. And last but not least, a small solar panel to keep it all charged.